Hey, what is up, everyone? It's me again, Gamerlush, with another episode of Final Fantasy Impressions. You guys been watching my other shows. We start every show off. I guess we can start out shots with. Guys, join me for a drink. We start every show with a shot. As some of you may know, the third beta weekend through Phase 3 has just ended. I'm recording on Sunday, but I release these through the weekdays. And I took this weekend to dive more in depth in the crafting system. I first have to start off with an apology from one of my really good friends. He's out there. He'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I always rag him for spending hours and hours just running around and hitting nodes to gather stuff, and that just seemed very tedious to me and boring. I actually did that for this weekend, basically, and I actually had a fairly good time with it. Final Fantasy took that crafting system, and instead of just having it to where it's a side thing to help improve your character, they made them into basically classes all in themselves. They gathered, of course, the Disciples of Hand and Disciples of the Land. And of course, the Disciples of the Land are the gatherers for the Disciples of the Hand. You get all the classes for one character, just like with all the disciplines of war and magi. So you can craft anything you want. You're not restricted to 2 or 1 or 3. I think it's some. So if you want be a weaver for your thaumaturge, your conjurer, you can be that. If you want to be a blacksmith or an armorer for your warrior, paladin, gladiator, marauder, you can do that. You can be every class, every disciple in this game for one character. Do that. It's alright. No one's pigeonholed in. You don't go down the road regretting what your decision was. Like when I was my priest for WoW, I regretted not being an enchanter so I could enchant my rings with intelligence. You can do it. No restriction whatsoever. That's one of the great points about this. And there's probably some flaws. I probably couldn't point them out, or I can't really think of any. I guess it would take a lot of time and finding all the recipes, but you have to invest a lot of money on it. But if you're pretty much a person who's an altaholic, this is pretty much perfect for you. That one person, you don't have to keep logging in and switching out that person. But if you're a person that likes to look at different characters and make, like I would, I'm making 3 different characters, even though there's no really solid reason for me to do that. So it's like I have to make that character, but it benefits me more to stay on my main character and just do it that way, because I stay with the story quest benefits of using the airship and all the ports that I discovered, exploring the land, all the teleports I've learned, all the crystals I sync myself up with, to looking at the different classes and jobs that I picked up and seeing what kind of armor would be best for them at that time. And I guess for that point, if you're making just a different species, a race or species, I'm doing it because I want to put one character in each capital city to see what their background story is for each capital city. Even though it doesn't really benefit me too much to make those alts, I'm really glad that they just give you that point. It's like where I believe one of my comments below told me that you can basically make around 8 characters per server for around $12.99. Still cheaper than a lot of other MMOs out there. So anyway, I'm going on a sidetrack, guys. Also, let you guys know I do make other videos of other first impression games. I do give those a shot at, and I don't take a super serious point on it. I just basically commentate of what I feel while I'm playing it way through, kind of like how I'm doing now. But I have time to think about it, dwell on it, so I'm not like totally impressed about the game. Like if I were to just do a let's play of this Final Fantasy one, I would just probably be just too fanboyish about it and not give you a really good impression and look at all the negatives at the time. Excuse me. So we're gonna go ahead and start off. I'm gonna show you here the menu first starting off. You pick a profession. Not every profession is learned in every town. Just like with the job classes with the Hand of the Land. No, I'm sorry, Hand, Disciple of War, or Magi. They're all separate in different towns. So in Ul'dah, you can learn goldsmithing, weaving, I believe mining for the Hand, Disciple of the Land, and there's another one, alchemy. I believe that was the word. to whereas in Linsolomensa, I can't even pronounce it. Linsolomensa? Double L. Double L. You can learn fishing and culinary cooking, and Gardena. I keep mixing up the names of these guys. I'm pretty sure you guys are cringing. I'm like, oh my god, learn how to pronounce these names. It's like basically, they have lumber. They have carpentry. I think you have carpentry and leatherworking there, and Double L has armory and blacksmithing, I believe. Anyway, you guys can find that out when the game sets up, because they're still adding stuff in the game. You can see them in town. You can basically hit the map, and it'll basically show you where it's at. You go to the guild registration person, and he'll ask you, "Do you seriously want to do this?" Which basically give you a rundown. Lore-wise, they'll give you a rundown lore-wise. It's like, learning the art of weaving is learning how to have a finesseful touch in the art of sewing and stitching and blah blah. And it's like, it doesn't give you like here's the facts, this is what it does, here's what it's for. They'll give you a little flavor, a bit of flavor to add to it. And you pretty much know it's like, look, I'm a thaumaturge, I'm a conjurer, I wear cloth armor, I want to be weaver, blah blah blah. It's like, but if you're reading the story, it's like, oh yeah, you can in-depth yourself into the story if you want. It's like, why not? It would kind of break the fourth wall, or kind of just pull you out of the immersion if the guy's like, if you're a thaumaturge and if you're a level 5 thaumaturge, you can sew this and sew that to give yourself intelligence and mind points. And like, if I was in a ghost, it's like, what does this all mean to me in this world? You're breaking the fourth wall, you're breaking my immersion. But anyway, going on. Once you do, you'll get a small single quest, and it's almost very similar to just getting a Disciple of War or Magi. They'll show you the guild master, he'll give you a quest, and basically it's just you running from the registration to the guild master, and you talk to him, and he'll give you the whole lore flavor and fluff about it, and then he'll give you your first implement. So you don't have to buy it from the store, so don't waste your money. If you just happen to run across a vendor and you see, oh, he has a sewing needle, so does that mean I can just buy the sewing needle and become a weaver? No. The starting class weapons, crafting materials, they're just there if you accidentally destroy it or throw it out of your bag for some reason. And it's like, well, you can't get it back, but I can't give you another one, but there's a store that will sell them. And it's like, okay, cool, you just run down there, and they do that for safety precautions, I believe. But if you think that you can just buy it off the store, no, you don't. You gotta register all your classes from the guild registration to your guild master. Alright, it's very simple. It basically kind of runs you through the first 15 minutes of the game. Yeah, it's kind of, like I said, it was kind of slow, but it basically tells you what kind of thing, how you should do things, and what you need to do them. Alright, now that's done. Now that you have it, they'll give you a crafting log skill. This one going down, and you can see here on the bottom right hand corner, you'll see your abilities button. You can click on it, and it's the red button here, as you see here in the top bar to my right. That's the number 2 bar. And you click that, it'll basically give you the menu of stuff that you can learn. Good thing about this, just like with the Disciples of the War and Magi, you don't have to learn anything. You don't have to go to some craft master and buy the recipe from him. You don't have to find certain recipes. They give you all the recipes on there. These are what you can learn from 1 to 5. You're a beginner recipe maker, beginning crafter, and as you break around the 5th level or so, they'll unlock 6 through 10, and then after you hit level 10, or 10 or 8ish or so, I think they give you the 6 to 10 area around level 4. They don't you don't have to be 5 to get that, but they give you an incremental amounts all the way up to 50, just like with the level cap with the Disciples of War and Magi. They give you the whole list, and each craft that you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna more organize myself here. We're gonna go ahead and look at the crafting log here. Now, if you look here in the first column, you'll see the little symbols, and each one of them represents a discipline of the hand. We're going to talk about gathering either in this episode. If it goes too long, I'm going to break it up into another episode. Now you have, basically you click on that symbol and you will give you the recipes for all those items you can craft for that certain hand. The cycle hand. This my hand is lonely and empty. Cheers, guys. And so then below that, it'll basically each recipes are broken up in the category into brackets of levels. So each bracket of increments of 5. So 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, 16 through 20, and so on and so on. Now we're going to the middle column. Those are all the recipes you can use, and it'll show you the level on the left side, what level you can, basically what level you can, what difficulty is at. You can make any of these regardless of, as long as you have that bracket from 1 to 5, you can craft it regardless. So you can be a level 1 crafter and still, I believe you can still be a level 1 crafter and craft the 1 through 5 items, basically, at this point. I'm probably mistaken, but I think I really didn't take notice of that. Even I really should have paid attention. I apologize, guys, if I'm mistaken. Please leave a comment saying, "Oh God, you're freaking stupid." No, that's not how it is, and we'll all move on. So, as you go on, the checkpoints you see there in the next to the level in between the name of the item is basically things that you crafted already. So I gave the old college try and crafted these already, meaning I was successful at them, and they gave me a level. You gain levels as a crafter just like you would, I'm going to keep saying it, just like you would with the discipline of war and magi. So you were leveling like this. But it's like, that is boring and stupid. Because if you had any experience with any other crafting system, like WoW, Rift, Warhammer, Star Wars, you just grab the materials, hit the button, and it made it. Simple. Very simple. It's like, yeah, that sounds really fun and leveling. So the people at the Final Fantasy 14 thing over headquarters or Square Enix or whatever, they had to think of at least somewhat how to make this enjoyable in some way. And I'm probably setting the bar low here because every crafting system that I've played so far, I've not been impressed with, besides the Guild Wars 2 one, where I actually had to put, if you had these certain amount of items, you somehow put them together in an innovative way. You can, which still use some common sense. So if you had, like I'll go back to my last one, if you had a loaf of bread, a tomato, a head of lettuce, and a slab of pork, and you put them together and boing, you got a BLT. Kind of like, that was crazy. But anyway, that was a kind of cool thing. That's not how it is like in this one. You basically, they'll show you the ingredients, what you need. Going over here, we'll go ahead into the right column. Before we do that, we'll have the characteristics. Basically, these are characteristics as bonus of stats that would be added to the item if you had certain skills or certain materials as you go and level up. This will basically, these are probably for certain armor pieces, and it'll tell you the characteristics of that item at that point, or what you're adding to, if lightning affinity, earth affinity, or anything like that. Unfortunately, I'm sorry guys, I couldn't get my crafting high enough to where characteristics and bonuses came up. Like I said, I'll leave a link below to basically a WoW Wow, I'm sorry. God, why did I say that? A Final Fantasy 14 database where it's like, it'll give you a lot of information about this. I'm basically breaking it down for you guys if you don't want to read all that huge wall of text of what this has to be. So that'll be later on as you're leveling up and you're trying to make higher quality items and what have you, which I will get here in a second. Now, going over to the right column there, you'll have what you're making, what you've highlighted in the middle column, the durability, difficulty, what crystals you need. Just like in Final Fantasy 11, you need crystals. Those are the catalyst used to make that item. You need crystals to make an item. If you don't have crystals, you can't, regardless if you have the items or not, you can't make it. Now, also it has, down there it has the materials you need, a list. It'll basically have the picture of the item. The first number to the left of the picture of the item is how much you need. To the right of it is normal quality. That's basically, it's divided with that the little division line, and you'll see what you need how much you have there, and it says yes, you do have that, and below it tells you how much you have in your inventory. So as you can see here, I have 2/16. That means I'm putting 2 into the thing that I'm making, and I still have 16. I have 16 altogether in my inventory. Next to it, you'll see HQ. That's high quality. Everything you make down to materials, armor, cloth, ignits, or whatever, they all can become high quality. This is where you control whether you want to use normal quality materials or higher quality materials. Now, what the hell does that mean? Alright, so if you go a little here in the corner next to where the hemp yarn is, you'll see quality 0/312. Now, all that was said and done, you're going to head, pick the item, choose whether you want to use high quality and normal quality materials. Then you're going to hit synthesize. Now, it's going to bring up, now I even took a picture of the tutorial thing here, and you'll get 2 bars. One of durability. Basically, I have this item in my hand. Before it breaks down while I'm still going to be using. So I have a piece of cloth here. Use your imagination. It has a quality about 40. Pulling and tugging, cutting, sewing. It has a durability of 40. And then on the top you'll see the name, the steps, the durability. I guess for you guys it'd be on this side. The durability used and the durability the item has. The condition is normal. Then you have the progress bar, basically how much progress you've made in making that item, and below it is the quality level, and below that is the percentage of what are the chances of that item becoming a high quality item once you're done in the whole little mini game. Basically, this is just a big mini game of what it is. So every step basically takes about how much of how your stats are in making items, and it's like what your craftsmanship level is at and what your precision level is at. I'll bring up a personal stat thing to show off like personal where it's at. It's near the bottom here. If I can just find it. It'll show up a stat like craftsmanship and precision, and it will basically, all these things are affected by armor. You can even actually have food to buff these items. And yeah, I'm sorry, craftsmanship and control. Sorry, I'm trying to look through, and I'll be putting the slideshow together in the back. So craftsmanship and control. So you have higher craftsmanship. As you start off from level 1, you have no clothes that improves your craftsmanship or control. It sucks. You're level 1, it's to be expected. But the first quest gives you a craftsman's cloak, kind of like as you see here. Like I'm wearing this ugly brown coat, and let's say if you didn't have that on, each time I would take a step, it would give you 10 about so. So I need 10 tries to make sure that the durability doesn't go below 40, because once it hits 0, that thing will explode, and you might have a chance of losing your items that you have. And sometimes you don't, because actually I've messed up in some items just not paying attention while I was crafting and like taking notes and what have you. And let's say, going back to what I was saying. So let's say my first step, I sew. You see do little animations. I like how they have the little animations for everything. It gives me about 3, and so it's 3 out of 9 for progress. So that tells me, okay, cool. That means for every step that I do, I will do 3 progress out of the 9. So if you do the math, very simple. It'll take me 3 tries or 3 steps to have this thing put together and crafted. Okay, sounds good. All right. So what the heck does quality do? When you reach to level 5, you'll get another ability called Small Touches, or Craft Touching. And when you use that, it will still take 1 step to basically increase the quality of the item and increasing your chances of hitting a higher quality item. Now, why the hell would you want to hit higher quality items? Well, higher quality items have better stats to them. Sorry guys, a little parched there. And if you guys ever played Final Fantasy XI, basically higher quality items were +1 armor pieces. And if you remember from those, +1 armor pieces sold for way more than the regular normal quality pieces, which are crazy because even though there's a small stat differences, but seeing how stats were, even a small stat increase made a big difference in that game. But yeah, so instead of crafting material, only having that one thing, you couldn't affect how the item popped up or how the item looked or what are the chances of it becoming higher quality. You actually have somewhat of a control to whether you have a higher chance of that item becoming a higher quality item or not. But there is risk for reward there, just like I said in the previous video. So you're saying, okay, great. I finally have small touches, the ability of small touches, I believe it was called. Basic touch, I'm sorry, basic touch. It's right there in the damn picture. So basic touch will probably maybe increase the high quality chance of 3, 4, 5. Control will increase that chance to where crafters will increase the chance of progress. So yeah, as you level up, I've noticed that if I were to do hemp yarn again, I would only take one step to basically improve the progress all the way from 0 to 9. So as you learn that and take notes of the fact that, like, okay, I can make this thing in one step, but I have 4 steps to do that because that's 4 durability. Basically take the steps and divide by 10. So you have 40 durability divided by 10. You have 4 chances. You have 4 chances to 4 attempts or tries or steps to make the item, increase its durability, and basically that's about it. So basically progressing and increasing its quality. So you're trying to find ways to be more efficient while you're making these items, and you'll take time, and you'll just sit there and well, if I wait until the last step and just use my first 3 steps to increase the craftsmanship, cool. But they don't all work 100%. Actually, the tooltip will tell you how much of a percentage it is. So the sewing mechanic will probably have a 20% fail rate. So it's like, okay, so yes, success. I've increased the quality by using 3 steps. I'm using my first 3 steps. Now I have 1 step left over to, since I'm high enough level for it, to just use that 1 step to increase it and make it. But I still had a 20% chance that it might fail. Now there's also, as you level up, you get more skills in crafting, which is really cool because it adds more steps. It kind of puts that gambling mechanic in there. It makes it like a small mini game and actually makes crafting interesting. Yeah, if you know you're just making like silly little yarn because you need 3 stacks to make a cloth and you need 5 stacks of cloth to make a robe. Yeah, it's like it'll take time. It's like, God, I gotta make 5 cloth, and so I gotta wait for the split-second load time for the durability little game to pop up, and I gotta hit the button, and it's like, yeah, it can be annoying at some points. That's like probably one of the major downfalls of it. If you want to make a stack, it's gonna take a little bit longer than you just telling your little avatar 10 stacks make, and you'll just see the bar go, and like bam, you got 6 stacks like that. That's one of the backfalls, and it's like, yeah, I was sitting there for about a good 30 minutes making a stack of 30, a stack of like 50 stacks of yarn, so I can just make a whole bunch of cloth. It is a time sink, but I understand why, because leveling a disciple of hand in the land is kind of like leveling a disciple of war and magic. You have to go out, kill the mob, do the quest. It takes time. The disciples of hand, get the items, you play the game, you play the little mini game, get the higher qualities, because you owe it regardless. Even though it's like I don't even want to bother with it, trying to get those higher qualities of materials, items, and crafting materials to put together to make that higher quality item. This has a more of a rewarding feeling to it, and I hope you guys are still getting this so far, because I probably just was like, what the hell is he talking about? I don't get any of this. Guys, leave comments below if you guys are getting lost or not being very clear on what I'm saying. But as I'm going on, as you increase your craft, you'll you'll be better at this, and so you can actually calculate how many turns it will take you. Not all items have 40 durability, some have 80, some have 60, so it might take you multiple steps to actually complete the item, and so you can calculate. So I'm gonna just make this thing out. So let's just go ahead and hit durability, see how many times it takes me to get the progress all the way up. I have 80 tries, I have 80 durability. It took me 5 tries to get up to durability without it failing. So it succeeded every time I want to increase the progress. So now it means I have 3 more chances that are just being wasted. So I can use those chances to improve the quality by doing basic touches. You can get advanced touch, and as you're leveling up, these actually will increase the chance of you actually succeeding in steps. Alright, so now going back, I almost forgot. Going back to the original one, when you say, why the hell, well, when I'm using high quality items, what does that do? It actually raises the quality for you even before you actually putting in basic touch. So if I were to use, it takes 2 yarns to make a cloth. If I were to make 2 high quality yarns already, this quality bar would probably already be filled up halfway. So increasing my chances of high quality already without even me touching it or even putting any progression or quality stitches into it. That's great. So basically putting higher quality items in everything is just a good way of improving your chances of getting higher quality items. So you have HP, of course. If you're running out there, you get attacked by a mob, even though I don't know why you're running out and making stuff outside the middle of monsters, unless you're repairing equipment in an instance, which I will get into another video, making this another important reason why you need to level up your crafting. And then you have CP. CP is kind of like crafting mana. It's basically crafting points. So special skills like basic touches. There's a skill that basically heals the durability of the item back up, so you actually have more chances of doing it. That takes a big chunk, around like 90. As you can see here, I got like 180 so far. So let's say you mess up, it's like, oh crap, okay. It'll take me 1 try to complete it. So let me take my 3 chances before I have to use my last one to increase the durability. I get all 3 of them. I'm scared though that my last chance will mess up and I will not finish the progress. I'll hit that heal button, basically healing the durability, so now I have 4 more chances to fix the thing. Now I can use those chances to increase the durability, or let me go ahead and just finish the progression and see how I do. I really like the crafting system. It's like a gambling. It's kind of like a gambling system. I know it's kind of really bad to, it's like associated with gambling, but it kind of feels like that risk for reward kind of thing. The more you put in, but you can lose it all in just 1 hit or so like that. Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure that, like, I'd probably miss a couple things. Next video I'll cover gathering, but guys, this is a crafting system I just love, and it's like, and usually I hate crafting in all MMOs. It's like the least of my favorite things to do in MMO. This one actually made me want. I got almost every discipline of hand just to see what I can make and see all the little intricate things that me sewing, her using a little hammer to hammer out rings and stuff. I love the little animations they have in it, and I just appreciate. This is another thing that I just love about it. And yeah, it's like there's flaws to it. They can iron out later on, and I'm pretty sure that patches. That's a good thing about MMOs. They can put patches to improve the game and what have you. But guys, I really appreciate you joining me, and if you enjoyed your time with me, please like, subscribe, favor, leave your comments below. Tell me what you guys want me to talk about, and I'll see you guys later. And as always, cheers and game on. For the last show, I drink through my reviews and rants and what have you. Cheers to you guys. Hey, join me for a drink next time. Alright, kind of tickled my fancy. It's basically an iOS Android port for Dungeons and Dragons turn-based